Hi, I'm Nurse Rob. Here's my story. I was roughly 20 days into my walk along the Camino de Santiago in Spain, and I was approaching a stretch of land over 100 miles long where many pilgrims skip. They bypass this area by bus. They say that the heat and the sameness of scenery along the Meseta can really get to you mentally. I decided to push forward on foot because nothing great ever comes by taking the easy road, or in this case, a bus. Now, there have been many times throughout my life and travels where I wished that I was a poet because I just did not have the words to describe what it was I was seeing. And walking across the Meseta in central Spain was one of those times. My guidebook described the Meseta as sublime, and I looked this word up. It means of such excellence, grandeur, or beauty as to inspire great admiration or awe. And I thought, yeah, that's about right. The sublime Meseta. How can anyone bypass this? I had been walking with E from Sweden on and off for the past 2 weeks. We just always kept finding our way back to each other. When you walk with someone as much as I walked with E, you share your soul with that person. You talk and talk until you can't talk anymore. I vented to her. It was a release, it was therapy. One particular hot day, E and I needed a place to stay to avoid heat exhaustion, and we stumbled upon an old albergue down a dirt road called San Bol. It wasn't a village, it was just a random barn like building in the middle of nowhere. And we were able to scoop up the last two cots. The only problem was is that they were in the rat shit riddled attic. What are you going to do? So we got comfortable and then we went out back to where the other pilgrims were hanging out. The pilgrims were scattered through the fields like it was some sort of Spanish vacation oasis. A woman from the Netherlands was washing her clothes in a bucket. A man from Denmark was smoking a cigarette and hanging his clothes on the tree to dry. Others were taking naps under the shady trees. An English woman was rolling around in the grass playing with the pretty yellow flowers, and an American and a New Zealander were enjoying a laugh with their feet dunked in a cold spring. I can imagine heaven looking something like this. At sundown, we all gathered for dinner. The owner of the albergue made a gigantic pan of paella for all 15 of us. And in a domed shaped room made of stones was an enormous round table. We all sat and ate, and drank wine, and enjoyed the conviviality of the evening. Conviviality. I like that word too. Later in the evening, I got to chatting with an American from Washington, D.C., and over the next week, we actually became friends. She ended up getting me a job at her company for when I got back to the US. It was not a forever job, it was a summer job in Los Angeles, teaching medicine to high achieving high school students. I honestly didn't know what I was going to do when I got back to the States. I wasn't thinking that far ahead, but this job ended up being exactly what I needed and what I wanted without me knowing what I needed or what I wanted. Some may look at me getting this job as me being in the right place at the right time. Some might brush it off as me getting lucky, or because I'm young and educated, it was easier for me to get a job. But That's not it. That's not how I look at it. I look at this job as a sign of God showing his presence in my life, showing me his love, and giving me a blessing. So, I challenge you over the next few weeks to get still. Get still and reflect on your own blessings. I came across a quote along the Camino that has stuck with me, and maybe it can stick with you too. You are the result of the love of thousands. You are the result of the love of thousands. Reflect on this and reflect on the gifts that are often overlooked. Start with the fact that you can see, that you can hear, that you can touch, taste, and smell, and give gratitude for these things. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.